Hello again. One of the most shameless and ahistorical examples of the modern trend for rewriting the past of the United Kingdom may be seen in the film Belfast, which has lately been released. It was written and directed by Kenneth Branagh and is set in 1969 at the beginning of the Troubles in Northern Ireland. Incidentally, only the British could ever refer to a civil war as the Troubles. They have a genius for euphemism. We see it all around us. Other countries might have a Minister of the Interior. In Britain, we have a Home Secretary, which sounds like a comfortable piece of old furniture. I love this British way of playing down and disguising things. But I digress. In 1969, there were no visible minorities at all in the Northern Irish city of Belfast. Not one, it was 100% white. I was there in 1972 and it was the same then. Not one black person, Indian or Chinese, to be seen. The film Belfast is meant to be an accurate portrayal of life in and the events which took place in Belfast in 1969. Kenneth Branagh grew up there and saw these things with his own eyes. Those seeing the film, though, will be surprised to see a black teacher and even a black police officer, which really looks grotesquely out of place in the Royal Ulster Constabulary at the time. There are Chinese pupils at the school and also an Indian shopkeeper. This is all sheer fantasy and baffling for older viewers of the film. Indeed, there has been some irritation amongst people from Northern Ireland in the 60s who have seen the film and remember how it actually was at that time. The explanation is very simple, and the journalist and broadcaster Eamon Holmes, who also grew up in Belfast at that time, challenged Kenneth Branagh about this distortion of history. It seems that with an all-white cast, it would have been impossible to get funding to make the film. Those providing the money make it a condition that there must be actors from visible minorities, otherwise it's no go. This is why every film now, whether set in Belfast in 1969, England in 1580, or indeed even Middle Earth during the Second Age, must have black people in it, otherwise nobody will fund it. I give in the description to this video a link to a newspaper item which quotes Eamon Holmes on this subject. I'm used to seeing Tudor history fooled around with in this way, and even after the 1930s, as we saw recently with Munich, The Edge of War. But this is the first time I've seen the trick played with a serious film set in the 1960s. I suppose hardly anybody notices what's being done because this was 53 years ago, which means that nobody under 60 will really remember firsthand what Belfast was like that year. So anybody younger than that, people even in their 40s and 50s, will simply accept this and believe that there really were black police officers in Northern Ireland in 1969. Thus it is that the past is literally changed before our very eyes. People commenting here, usually younger ones, sometimes ask why I make such a fuss about this, or they sometimes accuse me of lying about it. The fact is that I find accuracy in history very important because it has consequences for the present. When you hear people today advocating for further immigration or praising the multicultural society, they usually claim that the United Kingdom has always been multi-ethnic, and it's upon fiction like this that they found this claim. As the years go by, more and more films like this are made. The actual past, the truth about what happened, will simply vanish. This is because most of us take our ideas about the past not from history books, but from fictional portrayals of the time. What we know about Victorian London is interpreted really through the lens of the Artful Dodger and Charles Dickens' writings, rather than our having actually made a study of the period. Within 50 years at most, nobody will be left who remembers when Britain was white, other than a handful of small districts in London, Liverpool and so on. The process will be complete, and Britain will have been a multi-ethnic society forever.